Equivocal as adjective. Ambiguous in nature or meaning. Open to two or more interpretations. Ambiguous. The results of the experiment were equivocal, with some evidence supporting the hypothesis and some not. Her motives for helping him were equivocal, and he couldn't tell if she was being sincere or not. The politician's speech was intentionally equivocal, so that he wouldn't commit to anything. The painting's meaning was equivocal, with multiple interpretations possible. His response to the question was equivocal and didn't really answer it.
Travesty as verb. To imitate or represent something in a false, absurd, or distorted way. To turn something serious into a mockery or parody. The editor travestied the author's work by changing key plot points. The parody travestied the popular movie with exaggerated humor. The artist travestied the famous painting with a new comedic twist. The political commentator travestied the opposing party's platform to score points. The sketch comedy troupe travestied current events with biting satire.
Recondite as adjective. Hard to understand, obscure, or esoteric. The language in the legal contract was recondite, making it hard for the average person to comprehend. The book delved into recondite topics like quantum physics and relativity. The artist's work was considered recondite by some critics who found it difficult to understand. The philosopher's theories were too recondite for most people who preferred simpler explanations. The professor's lectures were often recondite, with complex ideas and terminology. Extant as adjective. In existence or still in use, as opposed to lost, destroyed, or extinct. Still in existence, surviving, or remaining. The original manuscript is still extant after all these years. The dinosaur fossils are the only extant evidence of their existence. The extant copies of the book are rare and valuable. The artist's extant works are on display at the museum. The extant documents provide a glimpse into the past.
Percipient as noun. A person who is capable of perceiving or becoming aware of something through the senses or intuition. An observer, noticer, or comprehending individual. The percipient was able to provide valuable insights into the issue at hand. The study was designed to determine whether animals could be percipients of paranormal phenomena. The psychic claimed to have a group of percipients who could receive messages from the dead. The researcher was looking for percipients who could perceive subtle changes in their surroundings. The artist was able to create works that were appreciated by both percipients and non-percipients alike. Expurgate as verb. To purify or cleanse a text or document of any offensive or undesirable content. To remove or censor parts of a text or document that are considered offensive, inappropriate, or damaging. The censored version of the movie had been expurgated for public viewing. The teacher had to expurgate the inappropriate content from the student's essay. The historian expurgated the biased information from the research paper. The publisher had to expurgate the explicit scenes from the novel. The government agency expurgated the confidential information from the report. Proselytize as verb. To actively try to convert someone to one's own religion or beliefs. To encourage or persuade someone to adopt a particular set of beliefs or ideology. The religious group sent out missionaries to proselytize in remote areas of the world. The sales representative tried to proselytize me into buying their product by highlighting its benefits. The political activist was known to proselytize his beliefs to anyone who would listen. The vegan friend tried to proselytize me into adopting a plant-based diet by showing me documentaries and sharing recipes. The coach would often proselytize about the importance of teamwork and dedication to his players. Embroil as verb, to involve someone or something in a complicated, confused, or unpleasant situation, to mix or blend something together in a confused or disorderly manner. The scandal embroiled several high-ranking officials. The company became embroiled in a legal dispute over copyright infringement. The family was embroiled in a bitter feud over their inheritance. The politician was embroiled in a scandal involving bribery and corruption. The athlete became embroiled in controversy over doping allegations.
Concede as verb, to admit or acknowledge the truth or existence of something. To yield, give in, or surrender something. After a long and contentious debate, the politician finally conceded to the opposition's demands. The tennis player conceded the match after injuring her ankle in the second set. The company had to concede that their new product was not as successful as they had hoped. The lawyer advised his client to concede certain points during the trial in order to appear more reasonable. The losing team finally conceded defeat after the other team scored their fifth goal. Itinerant as adjective, moving or traveling from one place to another, typically without a fixed destination or purpose. Traveling from place to place, especially for work or to perform a task. The itinerant performer traveled from town to town, entertaining audiences with his acrobatics and juggling. As an itinerant salesman, he spent most of his time on the road, visiting different cities and meeting with potential clients. The itinerant preacher traveled throughout the country, spreading his message of love and forgiveness to anyone who would listen. The itinerant workers moved from farm to farm, picking crops and performing other seasonal tasks. She led an itinerant lifestyle, never staying in one place for very long, and always searching for new experiences and opportunities. Pollyannaish as adjective, displaying an overly optimistic or hopeful attitude, often disregarding potential challenges or difficulties. Excessively or unrealistically optimistic, especially to the point of naivety or overlooking negative aspects. Despite the challenges, her Pollyannish outlook remained unwavering. His Pollyannish belief in humanity's goodness was endearing. She had a Pollyannish perspective, always seeing the positive side of situations. His Pollyannish attitude was a source of optimism during difficult times. Their plan seemed a bit Pollyannish, overlooking potential obstacles. Piquant as adjective, having a pleasantly sharp or spicy taste or flavor. Having a taste that is both sharp and appetizing, and that stimulates the appetite. The piquant sauce added flavor to the dish. The salad had a piquant dressing that made it delicious. Her piquant sense of humor always made me laugh. The dish had a piquant aroma that made my mouth water. The salsa was too piquant for my taste. Imbibe as verb, to drink, consume, or absorb a liquid. To take in or receive a substance into one's body, as through drinking or inhalation. The cultural traditions of the region were imbued in the art and music. The students were encouraged to imbibe knowledge from various sources to broaden their understanding of the subject. The partygoers imbibed large quantities of alcohol and became rowdy. The plant imbibed water from the soil to sustain its growth. The baby imbibed her mother's milk for nourishment. Diatribe is noun, a lengthy and bitter criticism or attack, a strong, angry, and critical speech or writing. The politician's speech turned into a diatribe against his opponent. The newspaper editorial was a diatribe against the government's policies. The talk show host launched a diatribe against the celebrity guest. His social media post was a diatribe against anyone who disagreed with his views. Her rant about the service at the restaurant was a diatribe that lasted for several minutes. Sporadic is adjective. Intermittent or occasional, rather than continuous or persistent. Occurring at irregular intervals or in scattered instances, rather than in a consistent or continuous manner. The team's success has been sporadic, with both wins and losses. The company has been experiencing sporadic power outages. The students' attendance has been sporadic this semester. The athlete's performance has been sporadic throughout the season. The rain has been sporadic this year, causing droughts in some areas. Erratic is noun, a boulder or rock that differs from the surrounding rock and was transported by glacial action to a location different from its place of origin. The coach benched the player for his erratic performance during the game. The company fired the employee for being an erratic worker who couldn't meet deadlines. The erratic of the compass caused them to lose their way in the dense forest. The captain's erratic steering put the ship in danger of hitting the rocks. The politician's erratic behavior and erratic decisions led to his downfall. Advocate as verb. To plead in favor of. To defend by argument before a tribunal or the public. To support, vindicate, or recommend publicly. She will advocate for her clients in court, using her legal skills to present their case effectively. He advocates for mental health by sharing his own experiences and encouraging others to seek help. They advocate for their community by meeting with local officials and voicing their concerns. She advocates for her patients by working to ensure that they receive the best possible care. He advocates for environmental protection by organizing protests and lobbying politicians. Abstruse is adjective. Difficult to understand, especially because of being abstract or complex. Obscure or not easily grasped or understood. A professor's lecture on quantum physics can be abstruse to students who lack a background in physics. Some of the passages in James Joyce's Finnegan's Wake are considered abstruse due to the complex language and stream of consciousness style. The software manual was filled with technical jargon and proved abstruse to novice users. The philosopher's argument was so abstruse that even other philosophers found it difficult to follow. The financial statements for the company were filled with abstruse terminology that made it hard for investors to understand the company's financial health. Factitious as adjective. Artificial, fake, or not genuine. Often created in order to deceive or mislead others. Made or produced in a deliberate or intentional manner, rather than occurring naturally or spontaneously. The novel's characters were criticized for their factitious personalities. His factitious interest in the topic was evident in his lack of knowledge. The painting's factitious brushstrokes were intended to mimic a specific artistic style. The company's factitious claims about the product's effectiveness were later debunked. The researcher's factitious data was discovered during the peer review process.
Flounder as verb. To move clumsily or unsteadily, especially while trying to find one's footing or maintain balance. To struggle or thrash about as if trying to swim or maintain balance. The company began to flounder after the CEO resigned. The athlete floundered in the final stretch of the race, losing the lead. The student floundered in the difficult class, struggling to keep up. The business began to flounder after a series of bad decisions by the management. The government's response to the crisis was seen as floundering and inadequate.
Ready to boost your English or ace the GRE? Meet the GRE Vocabulary app. a fun and effective way to master language. Learn advanced words with examples and audio. Master idioms, proverbs, and phrasal verbs. Enjoy quizzes, flashcards, and pronunciation tests. Customize your practice by difficulty or focus. Translate into 100+ languages with ease. Did you learn new words? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my channel. Download now and start your journey to vocabulary mastery.